Ellen here from Fluffy Cow Coffee with the big old cow behind me. As you know, we are a coffee company that supports farm animal sanctuaries, and we do so by partnering weekly with a specific rescue or sanctuary around the country. And we do a week-long online fundraiser pursuant to which we donate $2.50 for every item sold on the website, not just order item, every item sold for the week. And this fundraiser ends at midnight on Sundays. And today we're here with the lovely Lorna from Roosters at Ragnarok. Hi, Lorna.
Hello, how are you?
Now, first of all, who are you with?
This is Nugget.
Nugget. How old is Nugget?
And then, hold on, here comes Rosemary.
Oh, Nugget and Rosemary are in the vid. Fantastic. Okay, now
these guys are both around 3.
Oh, awesome. Quick question. How long do chickens live? How long is their natural life?
That's a complicated question. So natural life is about 8 to 10 years. Unfortunately, due to the way that we've manipulated them to lay more and more eggs, unfortunately, a lot of them pass around 2.5 due to complications from that.
And that is from, and all right, we're going to go back. We're going to step back and we're going to first talk about Roosters of Ragnarok. 1, who are you? Where are you? And why are you?
Absolutely, we can do that. So we are a little chicken sanctuary located in South New Jersey. We are dedicated to providing chickens in need with a safe, secure, and loving home. And then we also have a big focus on promoting compassion through advocacy and education. And as for the why, I got my first chickens back in 2020, like a lot of people did at the beginning of COVID, because I wanted happy eggs from happy backyard chickens. And shortly after getting my first 3, I realized what fantastic beings these guys are and how unfortunately they are viewed as disposable by a lot of people, and that there is a huge need for chicken rescues. So I rescued my first 3. I adopted them from a different chicken rescue called the Chicken Refuge, also currently located here in New Jersey. Later in 2020, and it kind of all stemmed from there.
Okay.
At that point, we started rescuing, and then I moved to this part of New Jersey in February of this year, and this is when we became official.
I see. Okay. Now, how big is your property?
About 2 acres. So not huge, but big enough.
Yeah, sure. And how many chickens? Now, when we say chickens, by the way, are we also including roosters?
Yes.
Okay. How many chickens can live comfortably in your sanctuary?
So we have 21 here right now.
Excuse me.
And bless you.
Thank you.
And we're at capacity at this point. So
tell me again. I missed that because of the sneeze. How many?
21 currently.
Okay. And of the 21, how many are female or roosters?
There are 6 roosters living here currently.
Okay. Excuse me. Jesus. Cover up my nose. Sorry about that. So, okay, you have 6 roosters and so the balance are female. And do they lay eggs?
Some of them do. Some of them are older and no longer lay eggs. And in the past, we've had some that are implanted to stop them laying eggs too if they're showing signs of reproductive diseases.
You have them implanted, not somebody else.
No, we do.
And you're doing that to help elongate or have them a better life.
Correct. Yeah. Under the guidance of a veterinarian, of course. But yes, it shuts down the reproductive system and allows them a happier, longer life.
Fantastic. All right. So you're pretty new to this sanctuary chicken business. What do you think?
I absolutely love it. In 2021, we took in our first Cornish cross rooster. And this was when I was living up in North Jersey, where you weren't supposed to have roosters. So it was very hush-hush at the time. And it's been a fantastically rewarding experience getting to know each of these guys. And for many of them, getting to see them learn what it is to be a chicken as well. Because a lot of the Cornish cross chickens, they haven't had the chance to experience, being outside and being able to dig in the ground and things like that. So it's been incredibly rewarding.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now, do you have a job as well?
I do. I'm a field support representative for a veterinary diagnostic company.
Oh, cool. Awesome. So are you surprised at how much you love the chickens? Did it take you by surprise?
It did, but I don't understand why, because I'd always been very into rescuing animals, and from a very early age. I mean, when I was little, I wanted to be a vet and all of that kind of stuff. Like, I'd been very into animals and animal wellness for my entire life, but yet they did still take me by surprise. And I think it is because most people don't get the chance to experience what wonderful beings these guys are. I mean, Rosemary will sit on your lap for hours and hours if you let her.
That's just
She
amazing
loves to be
to
around
me.
people.
Yeah, that's just it's really frankly a little surprising to me that Rosemary is just sitting there chilling while you're
Yeah.
just petting her, and she's doesn't look like she's going anywhere.
There is a small amount of bribery involved. We do have a bucket of mealworms down here.
Now,
She's being very hopeful.
Where did the chickens and roosters? Where did your residents? How'd you get them? Where'd they come from? In addition, I know about the first three.
Yeah, it's all different. So some of them are from people who are no longer able to take care of them anymore. So I'm watching Ketchup is walking by over here, over to my right. And she lived with a bunch of other chickens who unfortunately fell victim to a predator attack. She
Oh,
was the only survivor, and her family was moving to a place where they could no longer take chickens. So they had reached out to me through a friend of a friend and asked if we were interested. So she came to live with us that way. There's 2 roosters here who were actually on the property when I moved in.
no way.
Yeah, they belonged to the previous owners, but they free ranged and they were unable to catch them when they moved. But of course, they were very, very interested in the chickens that I brought with me. So it took a little time, but we were able to persuade them to move in, and they've stayed ever since.
And then I guess the former
Not
owners
in this.
back.
No, they'd moved, and it was they were unable to take them back, so they stayed. Not in this part of the sanctuary, but a bit behind me, we have our Cornish cross set up. They're set up in a different area because they have different needs to these guys. And those were all rescued by animal activists. So that's them. We've got another rooster who was picked up by animal control. He was dumped in a state park probably when he started crowing. So everyone's got a little bit of a different story.
Yep. Awesome. Now, what is your plan for the future? Do you plan on expanding? Do you plan on having more educational programs? And if you are doing educational programs, how are you doing those?
Yeah, so we're not going to expand capacity at this point. At this point, we're at a number that we're comfortable and able to provide quality care for everybody here. So we won't be expanding capacity at this time, but we're working on expanding each of their areas. And as anyone with chickens knows, we're constantly upgrading to make their area more and more predator proof because everything tries to eat them, unfortunately. So we're constantly working on ways to improve their areas. Education is going to be a big focus of ours over the next couple of years. We have done some events locally where we try to educate people about how fantastic these guys are. We recently did a Christmas event this past weekend, actually, at the Shops of Dragon Village in Bridgeton here, where we brought a bunch of coloring pages for children. So each one had a chicken on it. We had Small Fry and Hank were our coloring pages for this time around with their little story on the back, just to encourage children to, learn a little bit more about these chickens and see them as individuals. So we're doing a lot of that as far as the educational standpoint goes. And then trying to also be a resource for people with backyard chickens who are trying to make the lives better for the chickens that they have in their care. We want to be able to assist those people too. So if people have questions, we want to be there to advocate for the chickens in their care and, help make things better.
That's awesome. That's great. The one thing about Beth and I talk about this a lot. The one thing about Farm Animal Sanctuary is two things, actually. One, people don't know there's such a thing,
Yep.
right? They don't know that there's such a thing. So you have to educate people first and foremost about the fact that these animals, whatever the species, are sentient beings that have these feelings like we
Yeah.
do. And then two, know that the impact of education is, you know, it has to start with education, right? And then people tell people, people tell people, and it's multiplies by factors, the impact education has. Once you've educated people about the fact that you exist, the why you exist, and then spreading the word, it's extraordinary.
It is, and that's sort of, I can see the impact of that even with our store here.
Mm-hmm.
So I had my first three, my backyard chickens for eggs, and not realizing quite what the eggs did to them. And then I got talking with Kathy, who runs the chicken refuge, about wanting to adopt some hens.
Mm-hmm.
And it was through her that I learned really about the impact that eggs have on them.
Mm-hmm.
So it was her taking the time to educate me that got me going on this path. And then, finding Kit was the first Cornish cross chicken that I took in back in 2021. And I had no idea what a Cornish cross chicken was at the time. And again, it was through chatting with Kathy at the Chicken Refuge, Heather at Marley Meadows,
Mm-hmm.
like
We know
all the
Heather.
local sanctuaries. Yeah, she recommended you guys. It was through chatting with everybody here that I got to learn more and more, and I'm able to provide these guys with a home now, and then hopefully continue that education on.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Okay, now the one thing we have to talk about, and then we're going to talk about the fundraiser. But the one thing I need to know is where Ragnarok came from. What is a Ragnarok?
Yes. Okay, this is a story. So Ragnarok is essentially the end of the world story in Norse mythology. And in the story, it begins with the crowing of three roosters. There's three roosters located in different parts in the universe, and these three roosters crowing signals the beginning of the end. There's a giant battle, it's fiery, then it's icy, and it's terrible. All the gods die, all the people die, it's terrible. And the world slips into a void. Now, in some tellings of the story, it ends there. And in other tellings, the world comes back after. So we get through this bleak, horrible period, and then the world comes back, and it's green, and it's beautiful, and it's filled with animals. And we use that to symbolize what we're looking for. Like we're looking for change.
Mm-hmm.
We want people to view these guys as, the sentient beings that they are, and not just chickens, all farmed animals. We want them recognized for who they are. So it was a good story of change. And when I came up with the name, I had three roosters at the time a place where you were not supposed to have any roosters. So it seemed like a fitting name for what we're doing here.
I love it. It's a little scary.
It is. Ragnarok's no joke.
It's a little end of days-ish.
It is. It very much is, but it has a happy ending.
Yes, good. I like that. And I think the name is interesting, and it's certainly a conversation starter.
It is. It is.
All right. Now, Lorna, we're going to talk about the fundraiser now. So
yes,
it is Friday. We only have 2 more full days and the rest of today. So 2.5 days to get the word out. You and us, Fluffy Cow folk, Ragnarok folk, get the word out to your fan base that the fundraiser ends on Sunday at midnight, and we donate $2.50 for every item sold on the website. And we have species-specific swag as well. So if you don't drink coffee, there's lots of opportunity for mugs and T-shirts and hats. And what is it? Mother Clucker? We got Mother
Clucker. That's what the mug says.
Yes. We have Mother Clucker swag. And also, really important, the coffee's damn good.
Very good. Great coffee.
Really good coffee. This coffee is served in 5-star resorts. It gets it's great coffee with a good cause to help great folks like you at the Roosters of Ragnarok. So we got to get the word out. to get our friends and family to buy. Christmas is coming, as is the end of
And we
days.
found ships really quickly, ships very quickly.
It ships really, we're very fast, we're very efficient. And anyway, so we got to get the word out. And now the big question for you, Lorna, is say we get the word out and we do a great job and we raise like $200 to $300 for Roosters at Ragnarok. What kind of impact would that have?
Absolutely huge. I don't think people realize the impact it will have. So our next big item for the sanctuary here in the spring is we're going to redo some of the fencing, and then we're going to place a fence around the entire chicken portion of the yard here. And that money is going to be absolutely huge to going towards being able to do that to increase the amount of safety these guys have.
Yes. So it's all about keeping the residents safe from predators. Another level of fencing to keep your residents safe from predators.
That's the goal. That's what we're going to work on in the spring. So this would be a huge help towards that.
I like it. All right. So now we have our charge. We're going to get the word out. We're going to sell, and your friends and family are going to buy. And we are going to raise money to keep those precious residents safe from predators.
That we are.
Fantastic.
And they say thank you.
Hey, fantastic. All right, Lorna, you have a fabulous weekend. Fingers crossed. I want to write you a big old check on Monday. So fingers crossed, and we'll talk to you on Monday.
Excellent. Thank you. And thank you guys for what you do too. This is awesome. It's incredible.
We love it. And it's why we get up in the morning.
That and the coffee, right?
Exactly. With the coffee. So have a great weekend, Lorna, and we'll talk on Monday.
Thank you guys.
Okay. Bye.